One of the days of the Lucian first pick that we saw every game in playoffs.
Wow!
No, not again!
This is super interesting because J-Team Cherry, he loves his Wukong. He will always prioritize the Wukong on his first rotation on red side. So this is super interesting that Flash Wolves prioritizes the Kha'Zix.
You literally just run back Wukong Cinch for the 5,000th time here.
Oh wow, this is interesting.
Yeah, and it sticks to the plan if we are assuming so that J-Team are like, hey, you know what? We've got bigger fish to fry, and it's called WRL squads in the finals. There's
All Team Flash.
Yep.
All Team Flash in the semis, maybe.
Or that, yes. Absolutely. And again, just as Omo said, we're not going to be surprised if this is
Singed.
a Singed again or a Riven again, because primarily all we've been seeing is Barry and DY having a lot of priority to not reveal and make sure that they have a nice counter lane on that big 2v2, because again, they've been winning in that lane for the entirety of that series.
Here we go. Ooh, they took away the Lucian here. Okay, so we are seeing something different.
Wow.
Shut up.
Okay, J-Team starting to show some respect here, snatching some key picks away from Flash Wolves. Olaf, Senna, Lucian, 3 out of 5 of the pieces of their win last game now removed from Flash Wolves. What twos do you have left?
Honestly, you can still pick the Corki, right? Because
Yeah.
we know that Baya will play a lot of these AD carries in
They
the
should play
mid lane.
Singed.
That's true, but that's the thing.
Yeah, but you
Baya
lose the
is
flex, right?
you do lose the flex.
Yeah.
You always want to put Baya on that big wave clear.
Yeah.
Considering the fact that in case Bruce picks up Vayne again, picks
No.
up never mind, it's a
Okay,
Ziggs.
this is okay.
Okay.
Not bad, but then now you need some CC in those last
Yeah.
couple of picks here for your support and for your top laner.
If they're going for a classic, oh my word. Okay, first off, if you're going for a classic double poke composition,
Yes.
triple poke, by the way, with the Void Spikes on Kha'Zix, you need Gragas, you need big disengage, because J-Team, I'm sure they're going to double down on engage. They have a lot of CC, Cyclone, the bindings from the Lux. This is scary so far.
Yeah, J-Team's comp right now packing a lot of raw power, but Flash Wolves, this fits their style very well. A lot of wave clear, a lot of scaling, a lot of long-range teamfight options, very safe, and that's the name of the game for the Flash Wolves.
But this kind of setup here feels a little like game number 1, where it's like,
Yes.
okay, if you're Cookie, what lane are you going to set up for kills? I feel like you need a kill, like a kill setup down on the bottom side of the map or the top
Trucks
side
to
of the map.
Raptors to Wolves to Grom. That's what I'm
That's
going.
it, yeah.
And then scuttle and ignoring the bottom side of
And
the
then
map.
base, and then repeat.
Yeah. Because you just wave clear. Flash Wolves will just wave clear, wait for 15 minutes, and then that's the time they land all the hurt and the poke against J-Team.
Well, J-Team now going
Great,
through.
Greg is bad.
Gragas
that's
taken
amazing.
away, and here it is. That was the one that you were talking about the most. Riku as a good engage, but more importantly, disengage tool for Flash Wolves to pick the fight when they want. Rakan taken away, so you could see the two teams thinking here. It was, okay, Ysera didn't get blasted on the top side of the map, and the Akali became a problem later on.
Yep.
And the two hyper-engaged tools from the support role by Flash Wolves taken away. Does leave the set. Set is still open here. Galio still open, which we got to see earlier in today's match.
I think you're pretty happy with both a Garen or a Darius here for Ysera. Even if you want to run back the Renekton, these picks are all fine here. But J-Team's Galio just very clearly shows that they're playing the Lux Galio combo, and this is the WRL kill lane combo. It's not the farm, it's not the scale, it's not utility. This lane has a lot of burst damage, and they will try to burst you down if they catch you out.
And that's the scary part, right? Because that means J-Team is pivoting on Pan. We know when Pan uses a Lucian, it's absolutely
Nice.
scary. I like
That's
this from
great.
Flash Wolves. They've got both disengage and engage, because again, they've pretty much already lost the Gragas in this draft. So I like this from Flash Wolves.
Yeah. What they sorely needed was a champion that can, one, give you crowd control, and a champion that lets you face check into Lux, into Galio. Galio gives you, Alistar gives you both, and that's a fantastic pickup.
All right, final pick here, Baron
Nice.
Laner, and we'll
Really
leave
nice.
the Garen, so you got the tankiness. You are lacking a lot of CC options, but you do have some, and you definitely have some disengage here. It feels like if you're Flash Wolves, you're fighting around objectives, and you need to be there first. If you're not, you do have Alistar to get in, but you only have one opportunity to kind of face on in with the ult, and there it is, final pick coming on through Darius on the top side of the map.
I mean, it makes sense, right? Because Flash Wolves just wants to poke, and aim more of these objectives around the Rift Herald, around their dragons, and I think that's going to be their biggest strength. The biggest problem is that yes, Alistar, not as strong as the explosive cast for disengage, and J-Team has a big all-in type of composition. They've got early to mid, strong damage across the board. That is my biggest worry. Again, the early game once more, Digon.
Yeah, well, we saw that in game number 3. Both teams are going tit for tat without getting into fights. This one's
They're not going to go for this game in scaling bot lane this time. And wow, this is Bruce on an AP champion.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
He's done it before, but we
That's
wanted to
crazy.
see. But we were hoping to see him the hyper carry. Didn't work out in games 1 and 2. Now they default back towards the Ziggs. Need someone to play it, be stable with it.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to a pick that works well in general for most teams. Ziggs is a champion that even if you're behind, you still feel like the Ziggs does the most damage in the entire game because of how much poke damage he can do, how safe he can be as well. And I think that, you know, against the likes of, again, it's just this bot lane playing super aggressive.
Barrier used there by Bruce. Same from Barry's side, I believe. Just trading back and forth, and we already got to start to see some of that power in the bot side aggression.
Again, it's Bruce stepping a little bit too far forward. Has to blow his flash now as well. And their 2 big summoners gone now for Bruce. No flash and no barrier. And on the side of J-Team, they still have both flashes. They have Barry's Lux flash and they have DY's flash. So I wouldn't be surprised to see if Barry and DY try to look for a flash play to try and kill Bruce in this early game.
If they are able to get that ahead, but we already start to see DY rotating around, so not even focusing on the bot side exclusively, still wants to find himself around the map, get some presence down, set up a shop alongside Cherry in the mid lane to help out Pan.
This is really, really interesting. So both supports now deciding to roam instead into the mid lane, more towards the top side as well. You can see the DY is rotating back down to the bot side, and so is Eason as well. But this is different from what we've seen from both teams, really. Both teams have really been, both supports really, you know, we saw DY as like this very aggressive roaming support, but I feel like in this series, he's been very much sitting with Berry and trying to get that 2 versus 2 advantage. But now maybe on a more aggressive support like Garrier, maybe Eason on this Alistar, then maybe they're going to look to try and play more aggressive, try and play for the roams as well. As you can see, it's just constant trades in this bot side of the map so far.
Looking for some damage.
Another flash gone.
Another flash burnt very quickly, acknowledging that there is some risk there. Baya facing off against Pan. Pan with a good amount of damage, won't have his level 5. He did. Could have very likely turned into a kill.
Yeah, if he had level 5 there, he definitely could have used his Culling to try and get the kill there. I really want Cherry to try and focus towards this bot side as well now, you know, with no flashes on Bruce, no flash on Eason, and with this kill pressure lane that J-Team have, Cherry can easily move down to the bot lane, try and get even a tower dive in the early game as well, because, you know, Bruce on the Ziggs doesn't do too much in the early game. Eason does have a little bit of disengage, but I feel like this is where J-Team can really come out on top.
Maybe a dive here. A lot of potential here for J-Team with Cherry having his ultimate now. They could potentially make their way down to the bot side. But of course, Cookie will be here as well. So if they make a play here and attempt to go for a dive or a gank, Cookie could potentially respond as well.
Now, I wonder if Flash Wolves know that this is going to happen, because the oh my god, I completely forgot what the name's called. What's the name of the red trinket?
The Sweeping Lens.
Sweeping Lens. Wow, I just completely blew over my mind. But yeah, Sweeping Lens was used, so maybe Flash Wolves maybe think that there's a lane gank incoming. They are playing a little bit more passive, and Cherry's just going to go back to base instead, but I think the Flash Wolves have to play passive now in this bot side. Bruce does have his flash back up now, so he should be completely fine. And he has his barrier back up, but
yeah, what a start here from both sides, right? JD not able to pull a lead ahead, something very different from the past 2 games. Flash Wolves doing an amazing job of stalling things out. And of course, we have this Ysera, Dawn, Garen, Darius matchup again.
Yeah.
Something that we saw in the first game.
Yep.
And honestly, did not really go either side's way. Ysera held his own and did decently against Dawn.
yeah, I felt like both the Baron lane and the mid lane for both J-Team and Flash Wolves have been pretty even, to be honest. I think it's just all been about the bot lane in this series so far. And saying that, there's a little bit of exchange in the top side, but nothing too much yet. But now we've got 45 seconds until the first Rift Herald and first Dragon come online, and I think it's all about the early objectives in this series now. It's all about the Rift Heralds. What team can get the Rift Herald and what team can try and get that early advantage. You can see DY is already roaming to the top side, so is Eason as well. So they're already trying to get their mid lane priority to try and get vision around that Rift Herald, which is up in 25 seconds time.
And it looks like JT might be able to get some control around it first. It seems like Baya will be a little bit late to go back to base. Won't be able to pick up his package as quickly as he would possibly like here. No, still gets to go back quite on time here, so not that big of a loss. A good amount of damage onto J-Team as they wander down towards the bot side river, looking for some control around the dragon. They lose some health instead.
I'm not too sure. I mean, they use Mega Inferno Bomb, which means that won't be available for this dragon fight. And instead, both teams are looking to try and go towards this first dragon instead. Mountain Dragon is not really considered the strongest, but J-Team, they still want to fight.
Eason over in the pit right now. We still
Baya
have
has
the
package.
first use of the Cyclone. Eason over by the back, needs to flash away. Baya comes in with the package, uses it. Dashes over towards DY. DY comes through, still alive at this point. Baya not able to finish off the kill, but the final ticks of damage for the package will take down DY. Now back in the mid lane, focus now onto Bruce. Don chasing, hunting for a kill by his Panda comes through with a relentless pursuit to pick up the kill instead. Exhaust lands on the Pan. A few more on attacks out from Baya will get the job done, but instead J-Team are able to bring the Lucian to safety.
Yeah, beautiful play. And again, you know, Cookie coming into this draft, the analyst desk weren't too confident with his Kha'Zix, and I kind of feel the same as well. He didn't really perform too well in the first 2 games on this Kha'Zix, and again, they're trying to sneak away the dragon. They weren't able to take it in the end, and instead, it was J-Team that are able to take away the dragon, get the kill advantage, and also take that mid lane tower. But now Flash Wolves are going to try and look to take that Rift Herald instead.
Yeah, over by the back, Cherry's coming in, gets hit but away. Stolen away by Barry! Barry steals away the Rift Herald!
Oh, that's not good. that is not good.
And then Stewart just goes, yeah,
Yeah.
that's not good. And, well, all right, Flash Wolves, time for the recovery plan. What happens now? You lost the dragon, you lost 3 kills, and then you let the Rift Herald get stolen away. Well, I shouldn't say let. I mean, you know, they can't do anything about that. They blocked Cherry. You know, they did what they had to do. But sometimes unfortunate things happen. Oh, early Coca-Cola pop-off.
It's a Coca-Cola pop-off. Was it the E? It was just E, wasn't it? Wow.
The pop-off is the pop of the Lux.
The pop of the E, yeah, the pop of the Luxie. And again, you know, J-Team trying to look again towards this top side. More tower dives and more aggression.
That's kind of crazy. Diving topside, Garen and Sarah obviously still very tanky, and so we start to see J-Team unable to finish off the dive. The Rift Tower finally now being used. But Dawn went down.
I
okay,
mean,
they got Easton as well.
Yeah, I mean, J-Team, they've got 3 towers now. Look at the goal lead already. You know, we were talking about the early game and kind of taking that momentum from the early game with the Rift Herald and also the Dragon. In this game, it wasn't actually the Rift Herald that actually got the advantage for J-Team. It was just having the better 5 versus 5 composition in the early game. You know, you have, you know, likes of the Lux, you have the Galio, you have the Wukong as well. These are champions that are really, really strong during the early game. The Corki package, you know, was good from Baya in that Dragon fight, but
right.
Cookie, he was in the fight, he was taking so much damage from the Dragon, he wasn't able to do anything. Then they try and go for the Rift Herald. Instead, they try and go for a plan B. Even though they lost first tower of the game, they get that stolen away. And now, for Flash Wolves, I think we're looking at plan C, plan D now. How do they try and get back into this game? They have to try and look towards trying to get a little bit of scaling online with Bruce and Baya. Bruce does have a few items, but already is about 1,000 gold behind. Even the same mid lane as well.
So much has been happening throughout this game. But frankly, Flash Wolves have not been behind for most of it. How have the Flash Wolves been losing these fights, losing these exchanges against J-Team? Does J-Team just have the better early game comp in the situation? This is letting them get away with all this?
Yeah, I think it's just the kind of what J-Team have been deciding to pick, you know, this pick potential comps that we saw from games 1 and 2. In games 3, we didn't really see it that much. You know, game 3 was more of like, okay, let's play Vayne Lulu, let's try and...
You're right, I know this.
Dr. Mundo's not my main champion, I have to say. Dr. Mundo is not a champion that I have a lot of practice on.
Of course, we are going back in the game now. J-Team putting some pressure down the mid side and in the bot side at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. And then, you know, J-Team, as I said, you know, it's about a 5,000 goal lead now for J-Team. So they're going to look to try and go around the map. They're going to try and look to get that deep vision that we know that J-Team love to do. They're going to group as 5, and they have a composition that's different this time. They have a composition that has a lot of potential. You're going to look for the Lux light bindings. You're going to look for the Wukong ultimates. You're going to look for DY going in as well. And you just have to keep an eye on this mini-map to see how Flash Wolves do in terms of vision in their own jungle, in terms of defensive vision, because that's what I want to see from Flash Wolves. I want to see defensive vision so they know where J-Team is rotating around the map.
Well, J-Team, if you guys have not been following up until this point and are joining us only now, J-Team have got themselves 3 turrets, are looking at a 4th. That is where the bulk of the gold difference is coming in from. Flash Wolves need to find a way to respond, but they're having difficulty keeping up with the fast-paced aggression that we see from J-Team.
Exactly, you can see from the goal leads as well, you know, mid lane is nearly 2,000 goal behind at the moment for Bayer. Jungle is fairly even, top lane's 2,000 goal behind. Bot lane's doing okay, but they're the big parts, is that, you know, the solo lanes for JT.
Let's start talking about what happens next. Rift Tower coming up in under 15 seconds, Dragon in under 30. JT now looking to get control around both sides. How do Flash Wolves fight for this?
And Flash Wolves, they have to try and decide what they want to do. Do they just give up this Rift Herald? It looks like they do. But again, look at the vision of J-Team in the top side of the map. They have 4 wards in the enemy jungle for Flash Wolves. They know whether Flash Wolves are going to be there or not. They don't see them on that side, so they know, like, J-Team know that, okay, if they're not in that side of the jungle, they're all down in the bot lane.
5 towards the bottom end of the map. Dawn will not be able to stop the turret from falling here. The first turret going over the Flash. Shows a response coming through. They're looking for a knock-up and catch over on the Cherry, but Cherry responds back with the Cyclone. J-Team going to top up health with the RCB right now.
Right into the fight.
We join back in. Redemption going to be used again by J-Team, trying to top them up so they can fight for the Infernal Drake. Cully going to be used on the side of Pan to try and deter Flash Wolf. Flash was still tanky and still healthy. Want to fight for this.
There's a lot of ultimates. Yeeson doesn't have ultimate. Bruce doesn't have ultimate on the Ziggs. There's a few ultimates down. Pan is split from the rest of his team as well, so Flash Wolves could look to start this Dragon, but it's going to reset.
Cherry backs away.
Oh,
Dawn wants to
no.
move back in. The Dragon resets just in time for Flash Wolves. J-Team get to continue contesting this. Pan still over by the back, gets caught out, spotted out by the opposing team. Cherry moving onto the Dragon. It goes over to Flash Wolves. They are able to secure it in time. They look to take down Eason. Get the first reset across. Dawn with the ultimate still available. The might of Noxton coming into play sends Flash Wolves back.
Noxus comes out on top this time. Might even get a triple kill now as well. Cookie is in a world of trouble. Still has the reset. There we go. Killing spree, triple kill. Oh no, we get another dunk. This
The
time it's
response from
Ysera.
Ysera, and one more auto attack. No relentless pursuit. The Flash held onto by Pan.
Dunk City at the moment. Everyone's dunking. Darius, Garen, everyone's dunking at the moment. But that's a win over to the side of J-Team though. Even though they lost the Drake in the end, they lost the Drake. Flash Wolves did lose a few kills. They lost a few towers as well at the same time. And again, it's J-Team, the ones with an 8,000 goal lead at the moment. 6,000, sorry, goal lead at the moment.
Rift Herald also looking to be picked up here by J-Team. They might have lost the Dragon, but looking to try and recoup their losses here with the Rift Herald. They got that mid-side turret. It's not the end of the world here, but Flash Wolves with a little bit more scaling in their back pocket.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like with this Rift Herald as well, it will be quite difficult for J-Team to try and use this Rift Herald because you already have, you know, the mid lane inner tower taken down. You still have the Baron lane and the bot lane tower, which is still open for J-Team to try and use it, or use a Rift Herald. So the way that I could see J-Team using this Rift Herald is trying to win one more team fight and maybe just ending the game, to be honest. Because what they could do is, if the J-Team win one more team fight, if they have the mid lane priority, and if they have the mid lane pushing power, if they just use Rift Herald, they can easily take that first tower and easily take the Nexus. So if you're Flash Wolves right now, be really careful, and you have to make sure that you have mid lane priority and mid lane pushing power this entire time. You can see already Dawn already pushing down that mid wave, and it could be a way now with the Rift Herald open to try and break that inhibit tower.
Yeah, it does look to be a major vulnerability for Flash Wolves, so they constantly have to rotate between mid and something else, and they move together as that 5-man. So looking to try and win out those fights. J-Team, on the other hand, now get to have some decent control around the Baron. Flash Wolves are able to sneak that away the last game. This time around, not going to be so simple.
So J-Team are going to look to try and split up the map again. They're going to try and look to get get control of the jungle like they always do. Pan is by himself at the moment, has the whole breaker, so he's going to be split pushing with that as well, getting the extra resistances. And look at the mid lane already. You can see that both Bayer and Bruce has to stay in the mid lane, has to make sure, not Bayer, sorry, both Bruce and, who else is there? Can't see the icon behind. Oh, it's Cookie. Both Bruce and Cookie have to defend the mid lane because one Rift Herald push and a few auto attacks from the Lucian could mean that that inhibitor just gets taken down. And again, this is what J-Team do so well. They're just like, okay, Flash Wolves, you can't even move out of your own base. You can't even move out of your own towers. We're just going to take control of the jungle. We're just going to kind of suffocate you in terms of, you know, how much vision you can get and whereabouts you can move to. And instead, they're going to go look for the engage.
Pan very quickly gets a reset on the Relentless Pursuit to dash away from the fight. And you can start to see here, J-Team honestly having difficulty taking down this inner tier turret in the top side, right? Flash was amazing wave clear, and J-Team finally losing patience. We used to Rift Turret, commit this one to take this turret down.
Yeah, so instead of taking the mid lane inhibitor, like you said, I feel like they're struggling a little bit to take this inner tower in the top side. So they're just going to use it for that instead. I think this is completely fine as well. Just get more towers, accelerate that goal lead as well. They're currently 5 towers to 1, and they're going for an engage.
Looking for a pickup here and a flash fall here from Barry, misses out the light binding, but doesn't really matter because Cookie still goes down. Unfortunately, Dawn does not get the reset, but DY gets to join back in with his ultimate again, and that is a pick off onto the jungler.
That means they're going to be able to take the bot lane tier 2 tower now as well. That's 6 towers over to the side of J-Team. They've taken all the towers except for the inhibitor towers. So even though Flash Wolves, they do have the wave clear with the Corki, with the Ziggs, I feel like Flash Wolves are just going to be stuck under their own base now. They're going to struggle to even move out of their base. And again, you can see J-Team, if you see the vision on the minimap right now, there's so many deep wards. So as soon as Flash Wolves look to move out of their base, straight away, you know, J-Team can be like, okay, we know where everyone is on the map. And you can see in this exact situation, this is exactly what's going to happen. You can see Pan is actually the one with the most goal in the team at the moment. Again, it's the solo lanes this time. So it's not actually Barry this time being the ones that's doing, you know, I mean, he's still doing a great job. It's actually the solo laners this time. It's actually, you know, Dawn, 5-1-1, and also Pan, which is now 2-0-4. So J-Team showing that it's not only Barry that we need to carry, it's the extra MVP performances from the likes of Dawn and Pan at the same time.
And incredible solo lanes, I mean, just incredible laners all around from J-Team, having that flexibility. They can play for anyone across the map, across the board. And now with Baron up and Elder Drake spawning in under 10 seconds, Flash Wolves need to make that stand, fight back against J-Team, lest to get taken down and lose this game in its entirety.
Yeah, you can see the sweepers being used at the moment. Just the vision is being completely taken out at the moment for J-Team, for Flash Wolves. You know, J-Team are just walking along. They're just taking their time. They don't need to be over-aggressive or anything. Look at this. They don't even have vision at all of Flash Wolves. They're just like, we're just going to go forward.
This is a little bit bad for Bruce. He's going to have to flash away, gets to move away from the Apprehend, so he dodges Dawn for now. Apprehend finally comes through. It lands on the East. East already used his flash earlier on. The bite coming comes through.
There's the resets.
The dump and the true damage out from Dawn. They take down 2 targets. Flash Wolves down 2 members.
And again, this is what J-Team, they do it so well. They didn't have any vision at all, I believe, of any Flash Wolves members. They were just like, okay, we're just going to play aggressive. We're going to move as a unit. And Bruce was the one, again, which was a little bit overstepped. And they're just like, okay, we're going to catch up Bruce. We're going to take the team fight. And that's because of all the towers that J-Team have taken in this game. It means that Flash Wolves, they have nothing to fall back on. And they can't give this to Elder Dragon for free. But Cookie, he can't get even close to the Dragon Pit.
DY is a brick wall in his face
he missed
right
a jump.
now. Won't be able to get away. Cookie might get taken down. The Winsome wall tagging him, but the flash still up for Cookie. He holds on to it, saves it for another fight.
I feel like at this point, it's going to be really difficult for Flash Wolves to get back into this. Now, Elder Dragon has now been taken down. Mountain Dragon's been taken down as well. But again, this is with J-Team having no vision. They're just walking around as 3 units. And look, there's no towers to fall back on except for the inhibitor. Flash goes down by Bruce, Flash goes down by Eason, and then after that you can see the J-Team can just play with a lot of confidence. The resets for Dawn as well, being able to get the multiple dunks on for Darius, and that means that they can turn back and take the Elder Dragon. And with Elder Dragon, at this point in the game, it's so difficult for Flash Wolves to come back. You know, the Elder Dragon just does so much damage. And again, you know, J-Team, they're just going to make sure that Flash Wolves, they can't move out their base.
Flash Wolves are desperately trying to clear out waves here, Stuart.
Yep.
You talked about how they need to deal with the mid wave, they need to deal with the top side wave now as well. This bot side now slowly stacking towards their end. And J-Team, they have Baron in their sights.
They can honestly just turn towards Baron if they want to, but again, you know, J-Team is not a team that likes to risk these big objectives. They're not like Flash Wolves like in the previous game where they try and just sneak away the Baron, because they know that, you know, if Flash Wolves do take the Baron...
actually.
Oh, okay, they actually start, okay.
I think they might be starting with Cherry and Pan.
I think they're just duoing it, but this is a situation where Flash Wolves, they can't do anything. You can see it's already down to half health.
There we
Bruce
go.
does use the ultimate, but again, they're just turning away from it. They're actually going to look for the fight instead.
They jump in, DY comes through with the taunt, but the Hourglass comes across as well. They manage to buy some time. Sarah flashes away over the backline. Barry finds his first kill. DY comes back in his ultimate. J-Team pick a 1 and move on to the Baron.
Yep, they're going to move towards the Baron now. That is the jungler down, which means there's less and less chance for Flash Wolves to steal away this Baron. They're going to take this with pretty much ease, and it's what J-Team does so well. They don't risk the 50-50. They're like, okay, Flash Wolves, you need to come to us. You need to stop this Baron, but we're just going to turn it around as well. And that's exactly what they do. They take the Baron, they've got the Elder, and it's just a matter of time now, Grandin, before they end this series.
J Team in an incredibly dominant position from games 1 and 2. Carry that forward into game 4. We don't talk about game 3. That one doesn't matter. That one was an interesting situation. Flash Wolves looked like they had something going for them, but J Team responds so quickly back again. First inhibitor goes down. Second inhibitor goes down. J Team on the cusp of victory.
Yep, all they need to do now, go back to base, use that money that you just got from the towers, from the Baron as well, and all you need to do now is just group towards the bot side. You know, get Pan in the side lane, get Pan in the top side of the map, use that whole breaker to push down the minions with the Baron buff, and then the rest of the team move down into the bot side. Take that third inhibitor down. Obviously in Wild Rift, the inhibitors will not respawn. That means there's going to be constant super minions the entire time, which means that there's just going to be more wave clear that Flash Wolves need to do, and it just makes it harder for them to escape. But now you can see it's actually DY split pushing. Didn't really expect that to happen, but okay.
Well,
I guess it could also work. You know,
if he
the
gets the
split
job
push.
done.
Yeah, it gets the job done. It gets the job done. But you can see that most of the members are grouping towards his bot side, as I mentioned, and Barry's just throwing out throwing out the ultimate for Lux. But now it's Flash Wolves trying to look for Death Rush. But to be honest, I don't even think you win this.
They walk in on the Cherry, but DY very quickly joins back in on the fight, pulling
Beautiful
in with the
hook.
upper hand, flashes forward, tags Ysera in time. Cherry's clone takes Ysera's ultimate in his stead. J-Team making their claim as one of the best teams in the world. A masterful showing against Flash Wolves, taking down Ysera.
Yeah, they're going to take down all 3 inhibitors now. There's 1 dead on the side of Flash Wolves. It's currently 4 versus 4. Cherry is down, but they're going to look to end.
Nearly taking down Bruce. The laser comes across, but Bruce gets back to the fountain in time. Right at outside their base, Flash Wolves watch as J-Team run them down. The Winds of War come through. Dawn not able to finish off that final kill, but J-Team with a masterful showing, a 3-1 against Flash Wolves.
Overall, a very, very dominating performance by J-Team. Like I said, we don't really talk about the third game. I feel like the third team, they were kind of testing their limits a little bit, but games 1, 2, and 4, they showed that they are such a dominant team. They play so well as a team. They play so well grouped up as 5. And that's exactly what they did in this entire series. They controlled the map, and Flash Wolves, they really, really struggled in this series. But fair play to J-Team. You know, moving into the semi-finals now, top 4. And that's 3 out of the 4 Chinese teams now in the semi-finals.
And each one with their own personality
Yes.
as well, right? And the fact that we get to see J-Team coming in here, a team that is well stacked throughout the board, right? 5 members coming in here. You could have the top side do well. Dawn could be popping off, or it could be Cherry, or it could be Pan, it could be Barry. You could have DY split pushing in the side lane. You know, it doesn't really matter. J-Team are a team that does it all.
I think that's the great thing about J-Team, is that J-Team is not focused on the one carry. You know, we talk about maybe Nova, for example. You know, Long is their main carry. I feel like J-Team don't really have that one person as their main carry. Like you said, they can put it on multiple hands. We saw Barry have a really good performance. We also saw Dawn in this game have a really good performance. Pan in the mid lane as well on that Lucian, also incredible performance. But look, they're calm, they're relaxed. They're just like, okay, another day at the office. On to the semi-finals we go.
All right. No esports